Hello and welcome to Game Soup with Chloe and Kayla. This is a game design podcast where we throw ideas in a pot and see what's cooking. I'm Kayla, a game designer with a pre-launch Kickstarter page up, and I'm also a comedian who is now the host of an open mic night in the Isle of Dogs. I've had a lot going on since we last spoke. How are you doing, Chloe?
I'm Chloe. I'm a game designer who also buys cars. I'm not very busy.
You are very busy.
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely.
You're just not necessarily busy with things that you'd like to be busy with.
Yeah, no, I'd like to be busy with like writing fun things and like doing cool podcasts and shit. But no, I'm buying cars 9 hours a day. And that doesn't leave much time.
Do you feel like you've settled in a bit to your job, or not so much?
Yeah, I mean, I've settled in. It's not the job I was hired to do, but you know, that's its own separate thing that I've been sending lots of angry emails about. So,
good, fair play. So we ended up having a sort of week off because we, just because of your job and also my own busyness, we've missed our schedules a lot. Like, I've been quite wiped out here and there. I did the final of the competition I was in to be this new host of an open mic night in the space in the Isle of Dogs. So I'll put out details in a newsletter or on social media when that gets more solid. At the time of recording, I've got like a big gig tonight, which I'm really excited about there with... headlined by Sam Nicorosti, she was the winner of the last Edinburgh Best Show Award, and also it's a really great lineup, including me, which is exciting.
Nice.
I sent out lots of emails. I did that. I think I talked about my blog on the last episode, which ended up being a kind of a vulnerable thing about deciding to be a wheelchair user. But then I also ended up putting another blog that was more now back to work, because I have committed to doing that collection of monster story games, which will include like Our Destroyer, which we talked about before. I finished writing another one of those games, which is a body horror noir thing I'm calling Drive On Stranger. There'll be a remake of Fear the Taste of Blood, and I've also been like posting some previews on Patreon of the fourth game of the collection, which is going to be a half oral storytelling game, half solo card game that you play asynchronously, and it works to retell the story of Frankenstein. So, you know, I've been posting details about that all over the various social media sites and my blog and Patreon, and you can follow the pre-launch. The collection is called Kayla Dice's Absolute Monsters.
It's a good name.
It is. I went through a couple of different back and forths on it. I won't reveal the ones I did consider. But you know, I didn't want to do a blank in other games again, because I was like, none of the titles that are all great for the games they are, none of them would actually work good as a title for the whole collection. I needed something that encompassed it more. Kind of indicated the vibe of like both, you know, these are monster games and also they're taking their monsters quite seriously, I guess. They're not doing sort of friendly monsters or parody. So Absolute worked quite well for that. And then it is a little like...
I didn't even make any like link to the DC comic thing. Like Absolute, no, it's just like, it's Absolute fucking monsters, love.
I wasn't so much... I thought of the DC comic thing, that's probably what brought it to my mind. And I did in a Discord, I was like, are people going to think it's comic-based? And someone's like, I think you're overestimating the size of comic book fans.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I, as a comic book fan, would be like, obviously everyone's, you know, at least read about the Absolute Universe. Of course. But, like, the idea of, like, you know, the sort of bare essentials of a monster, which is so many of these games are sort of going back to a source, you know, going back to either, like, early horror movies or the original Frankenstein novel.
Yeah, you're playing it straight.
Or the first Godzilla film. Yeah, it's definitely playing it straight. I'm proud to announce that at this phase of my life, I'm making straight games.
Wow. But
No, but...
Tell me it's just a phase, though, yeah?
The terrible I love the idea of like, yeah, no, I made lots of bisexual games in my 20s, and then in my 30s I settled down and made straight games.
With my boyfriend.
Yeah, well, actually, I know I have made games with my boyfriend in my 30s, my straight boyfriend.
Damn, bro.
Hi. But I put my name in it because I feel like people like collections. They do well, but my gut, and I wrote a bit about this in my blog, it's like I'd always prefer to read a short story collection, which is all by the same author. Same with poetry.
Yeah.
I prefer an album to a greatest hits compilation, even. You know what I mean? And I'm assuming maybe other people have that preference in games, so indicating heavily these are all games written by one person.
Yeah, no,
feels good. Maybe it's a little arrogant, but I can live with that.
I mean, you're Kayla Dice, award-winning emerging designer, you know.
Yeah, it's also think, you know, no one else is gonna say it for you. But I'm excited about that. It's like I say, I think I've not mentioned on the podcast before that I'm moving house, but I am in the middle of that. Like, I'm surrounded by boxes as I record this episode. So, you know, I'm moving house, I'm going to be starting up a regular gig, and I'm still working on these games, but the pre-launch is there to try and drum up interest, because I'd really like to crowdfund for this and make it a big project. So, but in the meantime, what are we doing today on Game Soup? Let's stop talking about the future, Chloe. Let's talk about the past.
The past. I'm going to take you back to the past to do the pretty good game ideas from UK Games Expo. I was trying to do Does anyone understand what I mean when I talk about the Angry Video Game Nerd? Anyway.
No. This is even more niche than an absolute DC reference.
Well, there we go then.
But yeah, you did a bunch of attack podcasting at UKGE.
Yeah.
And we're gonna revisit that. And, you know, you seem to have a very good time at UKGE, so
yeah.
It should be some decent things. Do we want to kick off?
Well, what is attack podcasting, Kayla? Because it's been a while since you've had one.
Oh, yeah, of course. I forget that every episode could be someone's first episode.
So, attack
Hello,
podcasting.
new listeners.
Hello.
If you're just joining us.
Attack podcasting is where I go around conventions and harass very busy con exhibitors and say, hello, would you like to be on our podcast? You can do a little plug and you will give us a prompt, and then what we do is we shove two game ideas together from these prompts, and then we try to make a game out of it. You know, we're throwing the ingredients in the pot. It's the model of the show.
Yeah, and we can never be bothered to organise actual guests, but Chloe, when she's at a con with the mic on her phone, can't be stopped.
Yeah, no, I'm always happy to, like, go annoy Grant Howitt or whatever the hell, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So should we kick straight into the first one?
Let's do it. We will go from the top of our list downwards.
We're live at UKGE. Please tell us who you are.
Hi, I'm Miranda from Rogan Bad. We sell accessories for Dungeons & Dragons and Pathfinder. So we've got stickers, badges, we've got character journals, and whiteboards for players and for DMs. And our world's tiniest character sheets.
Very cool. And what is your word?
I'm going to go with tiniest.
Tiniest. Thank you.
Tiniest is a fun word, and also very in your wheelhouse.
Rude.
True.
Yeah, I know it's true, but like, I'm not trying to make small my brand.
Well, let's see what our next word is.
Yeah, let's do it.
We're live at UKGE. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's George. I'm the studio lead at 3 Cell Studios. I'm the creator and designer of Mappa Mundi, an exploration and ecology RPG, and Gallows Corner, a Peasants Revolt RPG.
Perfect. And please give us your one word.
Burn.
Burn. Thank you.
It's a fun story about George, who are... You know, our UK listeners may be able to tell is from Essex. Maybe our international listeners don't necessarily know what that is. I also grew up in Essex, and every time I see George at conventions, especially if I get a couple drinks deep, the Essex fully floods back into my voice, which is weird because I never had the accent while I was there.
See, I don't know what the Essex accent specifically sounds like, so...
It's very, alright, darling.
That sounds Welsh.
Yeah, maybe I'm doing it badly. It's like, it's an it's like, it's a sort of variant of the Estuary accent, basically.
Oh, well. It's all Southern to me, love, it doesn't matter.
Fair. So, tiniest burn.
Yeah. Me when I light my cigarette incorrectly.
Part of me feels like this is maybe a hospital for fairies.
Okay.
Fairies. Which maybe means it's a bit of a sort of... Yeah, maybe it's like a... I was going to say maybe it's a management sim, but no, actually, I think it's a hospital for fairies, and it's essentially like a medical drama game, like your ER, or maybe you even do the pit. And, like, I guess at the start of a session, you are rolling a series of, like, fairies who are going to come into the fairy ICU. And it may be things like Tooth Fairy who got squashed, versus, like, fairies where it's like, yeah, they tried to curse someone and they got trapped in a ring. They totally had this coming, but, you know, Hippocratic Oath and all.
Yeah. Are you playing as fairies yourself, or are you just big humans?
No, I think you are fairies. Your job is hospital fairies.
Okay, yeah.
And you're just for the hospital for all the other type of fairies. And it's a tiny hospital hidden underneath a mushroom.
I was going to say, it's just a normal... It's in a normal hospital, but it's underneath the receptionist's desk. Like...
I like that, yeah, or something like that. But it's a very small hospital that fairies come to through magic. I like the idea of this being a really whimsical game.
Yeah.
But ultimately you treat the medical drama aspect really seriously. Like, it's not just a sort of, oh, they've got an ouchie and you need to do it. It's like, okay, so broken bones, lacerations, you're going to need to set the... Like, the tone of delivering medical information and what you need to do should be really hardcore.
Yeah. It's like, oh my god, they're being bitten by a ravenous cootie. We need to...
Yeah, but then you treat it like a viral disease.
Yeah.
There's lots... I think it's a kind of crunchy game where there's, like, abilities you have that are different treatment plans and you're having to apply them with your stats and rolls.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that, you know, sometimes you do everything you can and they're just going to die anyway. I think, like, rolling dice is actually very good for this.
Yeah.
I think this is a funny game.
Yeah, it's like a very stat-heavy thing, and you have to, like, go to different fairies in the hospital for, like, their help and advice, and it's like, oh no, I've got interpersonal conflict with Dr. Glimmerwing, so he won't
I feel
help
this
me.
is sort of an anti-cozy game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do we have anything more you want to riff on this? Because I do feel like...
I think that's done.
It's kind of perfect. Yeah. So, we shall head to...
Yeah, what's the next
on our
one?
list?
We're live at UKGE. Please tell us who you are.
Hi, I'm Holly. I'm one half of the Loot Quest team. So we're here this weekend and we're selling a bunch of D&D class stuff. We've got stickers, keychains, we've got pick a mix, sun catchers, which are super popular. So yeah, definitely come down and find us. We're in Hall 3, we're on the back wall, we're near exhibition services. So yeah.
Perfect, and please give us a word.
Pickle.
Pickle. Thank you very much.
Not the first time we've had pickle.
No.
I also love that in this one we can clearly tell you hadn't sufficiently explained that this will be going out weeks after the convention at best.
I'm sure I did.
Yeah, no, I get it. I think some people, they go on autopilot there. If I am filming anything, I never bother pitching where I am, because I'm like, I've never seen anyone post some kind of, like, video.
Yeah, nobody's editing in the hotel room to get it up immediately. Like, come on.
No. So pickle, let's go to the next word.
Let's do it.
We're live at UKGE. Please tell us who you are.
I'm Kayla. Well, what is this? Some kind of food-based baking podcast? A restaurateur? Is this Saturday Morning Kitchen? Are you with Saturday Morning Kitchen? That's my word. Saturday Morning Kitchen.
Thank you, Kayla.
So yeah, I don't know who this person was. They didn't even tell me who they were from. Total bitch.
She sounds really attractive, though.
Oh, couldn't possibly comment.
But I'm worried she might be straight. I'm going to throw it out there, because Pickle and Saturday Morning Kitchen are hard combinations. I say we throw to also our next word and do a 3.
Let's add them together, yeah.
Live at UKGE, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Eleanor Hingley. I'm the social media manager for the Tabletop Industry Network, the UK Tabletop Industry Network, and I also publish my own games.
Wonderful. And what is your one word? Witch. Thank you very much.
Now we're talking. Saturday Morning Kitchen witch. And Pickle can be involved.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, is it you are running a cookery show, you are witches, here's what's the hottest new hexes, and, we're going to review wands and interview.
I think you are running a cookery show that is like a Saturday Morning Kitchen, where you get, I think it's like you... Have you ever seen an episode of Saturday Morning Kitchen?
Yeah, it was a religious event in our house.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you get the sort of interviews, and then you are cooking something as a segment and taking some listener stuff. So I feel you actually have this episode structure. Maybe you are rolling random kind of witch or magic-based celebrities who you are getting onto the show. And, someone's role in the game is playing all of these individual weirdos. Or maybe, that rotates depending on... Because it has multiple hosts. I think maybe you play as the host, but then also... Because of the fact that not all hosts are always involved in a thing, it's okay, whoever's host isn't involved, they're playing one of the guests. And then, the cooking segment, you're having to do something that is full on, boil, toil, and trouble.
Yeah.
And, you're not cooking anything. It is about, making some kind of potion or elixir or curse or hex or whatever.
Yeah, maybe there's, dice rolls or something for, finally chopping the bat wings or whatever, but,
Yeah, I think you maybe get dice rolls for, sort of performance stuff, and... I feel this is I feel this is but with a different tonal direction, Ritual Magic for Besties.
Yeah.
Where I think it's mainly a sort of, but even more comedically, probably. This is, I think, just a small comedy game that is probably 10 pages max.
Yeah, it goes in one of your anthologies.
Yeah, definitely. It's a game that I would not necessarily feel confident selling, but would believe would be fun if I had an anthology that was kind of comedic in nature.
Yeah.
And I could definitely see it doing just some fun mechanical stuff with different recipes.
Yeah, you could have a list of guests, and here's what they're on the show to plug, or here's that.
Maybe you could do something fun with you have to find a real cookbook from a charity shop.
Yeah.
And there's something about you rewriting the entries to reveal the hidden sort of witch messages. And then that's what you bring. Maybe that's a solo game segment. And then you bring that to your group of friends that are using that with dice rolls and stuff as part of the hosting the show.
I like that, yeah. It's a little bit of prep work, but it's it's fun homework.
Yeah. Pickle can be one of the entries for stuff, and the game is called Saturday Morning Witchin.
We did it, Reddit.
I think we're going to throw to the end of this episode, but we are going to be back next week with more attack podcasting. But what was the sign-off I tried last week? In the meantime, dinner is served?
Sounds good. Bon appetit.
Or was it the lunch bell? Yeah, lunch bell, meal ready, kitchen.
Ding
Bye.
dong.